Just hanging out, doing what I do. Gonna make some salsa and do a little announcement for Sundays. For Sunday's live stream, get connected to the chat, and we'll go from there. I don't know if I've ever done a Monday night stream before, so we'll see how that goes. Sure how many we'll have, but we'll have a few maybe. But if you can hear and see me okay, please hit the like button and let me know that you can. Hey, oh look, what are you making today? I'm making salsa from the garden. No recipe. I'm flying by the seat of my pants tonight. Just got some Halloween music on, and we're gonna see what happens with what I had in the garden today and what I've got to use this in the what I had in the garden today, and then I've got a pile of tomatoes in the refrigerator that I've got to use up. So I'm just gonna hang out. I've got an announcement about Sunday's show, which is pretty cool. I'll wait for a few people to get in while I'm getting connected to the chat. And it's more of just kind of a potluck salsa, really. And the one thing that really bums me out that I thought that I had 2 limes in the refrigerator, and I have 0 limes in the refrigerator. So we're going to be limeless for our salsa. So, but we'll get around it. We always do. Kind of the hazards of going live, but whatever. Theo Luck, what's going on, buddy? Good to see you. GH, what's going on? Good to see you. Just having a few beers. Gonna make some salsa. I've been out in the garden for a couple hours, kind of doing that fall thing. Got our blender, and I'm not gonna do a chopped salsa. We're gonna do a blender salsa. I don't know why got a little frog in my throat. Do a little blender salsa with what was laying around. And we'll strain it off and all that kind of stuff, and it should be pretty good. And I'm gonna make a little bit for this week, and most of this I'm gonna throw into the freezer. So that's what we'll be doing with that. All right, so now we're successfully connected, it says. All right, so let's get started. So let me show what we're working with here. I've got, other than the water I just spilled out, we've got some cilantro that I did pick up. I didn't grow this. I picked this up at the grocery. And we've got some oregano from the garden. And if I need more, we'll get more. But I want to get some of this out of the way because these are so fresh I didn't take all the stems off of them yet, so that's what I'm going to do. So if you're in the chat and you want to talk, this is a good to talk to me because I'm just going to be sitting here for a minute and doing that. But I am going to try and figure out about how I'm going to try and throw a little bit of a recipe together, because I think I'm going to do about 18 ounces to 2 pounds of these tomatoes. And I have way more tomatoes in the refrigerator that I picked the other day over the weekend, and I just didn't get around to getting to them. And we're going to use all cherry tomatoes. That's going to be the other kind of cool thing. Is this something you can do with your cherry tomatoes if you want to? Garden salsa, yeah, 100%. 100%. Like I said, it wasn't really a planned thing. I just thought I'd hang out and we'll talk about Sunday's marathon show that we're going to be starting. I'm not sure exactly what time I'm going to start the marathon show on Sunday, but it should be somewhere around 6 to 7 a.m. And it's going to go until either I don't or whatever. But we're going to be doing pumpkin stuff all day. I've got about 13 pumpkins out there I've got to use. Not a good tomato season for you. And the other thing is I've lost my glasses again. So if I have to take a second to read, your stuff, I do not know where I put my glasses. So, and I have my monitor clear up on the wall, so it's across the room. Not a good tomato season for me. I've got tomatoes. My bigger tomatoes, it was okay, but I don't know how many volunteer tomatoes. I have this one spot next to my patio where every year I just throw the tomatoes when like if they rot, like get bad on the vine, or they split too bad and they get bugged up, I throw them off to the side of my patio, and I've got one little spot that I just kind of like let volunteers go. And tomorrow I'll get a picture for you guys of this massive, I don't even know how many cherry tomato plants are actually even in there, but there's got to be 6 tomato plants sitting in this one spot. I just went out and picked out these. These are just from that tonight. I didn't pick off my regular tomato plants in the beds. I picked a little bit out, maybe a handful or two. That was what was in here. But the volunteers, and then I've got a volunteer. If you guys ever look out when I do my Sunday show and you can see the patio, the big bush next to my one garden bed, that's a volunteer tomato I let go. Huey, what's up, buddy? Good to see you. Stay clean, Peter. Yeah, it's going to be all pumpkin. We're going to do pumpkin bread. We're going to do pumpkin seeds. I've been looking at recipes like all morning because I don't know how many pumpkins I'm actually going to be able to go through, but I've got unlimited pumpkins. So it's going to be pumpkin everything. Just relaxing after work. Yeah, I'm relaxing after work too. It was a rough day of hanging out and cleaning cast iron in the garage. I'm not a tomato person. Change my mind. Make me like them. Man, if you don't like them, I've got a daughter that I've been trying to change her mind on tomatoes for exactly 18 years, and I can't get her to change her mind, so I don't know. I'm gonna keep it real, but thank you for showing up tonight. Pumpkin, yeah, Rick, you might send me that. I like them cooked, but not raw. Yeah, there's a lot of people like that. I just sit and eat them. That's what I love about having those garden beds by my patio, is I sit out there and have drinks, and I just sit and eat the tomatoes right off of the vine. So I'm going to start with these. I've got these pretty much. I think I've got all of them. I've got all these that are here. So we'll see what we got. I'm going to try and work with about 2 pounds, I think, depending on what my actual blender will hold. But I've got a Mexican restaurant that's near me. It's about a half-hour drive from me, and it's Mexican food, and they make a blender salsa, and it's to die for. It's real simple looking, and it's brown. So I don't know. They probably use dehydrated chilies and a lot of chilies, though. Like in my area, different types of chilies aren't that available. So if you don't grow them, you can get your standard jalapeno peppers, which I'm actually going to throw some jalapenos in here tonight. I've got some jalapenos that I'm going to throw in here. I didn't get a bunch. I should have got more, because I think I'm going to end up with a lot more salsa than I thought when I first delved into this. There we go. Move you guys. I think I'm going to move you guys back just a little bit. I would recommend Lodge Pumpkin Recipe of the Month. We'll email it to you if you still have issues with not getting Lodge site. I actually could get to the Lodge site today or yesterday. It might have been yesterday that I did that, but it takes forever, and I have no idea why. But I went to their site because I was looking for I want to get my daughter a couple of their USA enameled Dutch ovens, and so I got distracted and I went back and it was actually there, so I was shopping it today. I wish I could have got some more of the colors. I see a lot of the colors are sold out since they're getting rid of it, but I really wish that Lodge would have held off on doing that for a little while. Spicy pumpkin soup. I've never had pumpkin soup. So maybe, there's going to be a plethora, because I'm going to be doing this stuff until I get tired of stuff, and it takes a while for me to get bored. So I've got an attention span that you wouldn't believe. Handsome Stone, if you could do that, that'd be great. Send it to me. Let's see, spunky spice soup, pumpkin pork chop recipe that has RMO last year. It was great. I don't know what RMO is. I know, I'm sure it stands for something. So Hari said hi. So good. I'll send it to you. Okay. Yeah, send it to me, man. I'd love it. I would love that. So, okay, so we got this. I'm going to throw in, I got to get the salt out, which I forgot to do. Forgot to get the salt out. But I'm just going to do a little bit of sea salt into this. And I'm not usually a big sea salt person. But I'm just going to throw a pinch in there and see how that goes. Because I know I'm guilty of not putting enough salt into stuff. I'm guilty of putting a lot of butter and not enough salt. And I'm going to also put a splash of vinegar in there. I'm just going to splash. And if you cast iron folks, you know why I buy vinegar by the gallons. So a little splash in there, maybe about a tablespoon or so. Similar to butternut squash. See, that's the thing. I'm not a big like squash person. But I do want to try, there was one recipe, and I'm not going to make that on Sunday, but it was, because it's such a big, kind of a main dish kind of thing, but it's kind of like doing the green pumpkin, sort of like zucchini, squash spaghetti. I want to try that too. But I want to try that. I don't want to try it on live stream. I want to try it when I can try and make it first, and then do everything else. But I've got a couple... I've got at least one Tabasco that I'm going to throw in here. And I'm throwing the seeds and all. I did wash these. And I got 2 of my cayenne peppers. My cayenne pepper, this drives me nuts every year in September and October. My hot peppers and green peppers do a rebound, and they come back from the dead and are almost dead. And my green peppers right now, I bet I've got 30 to 50 blossoms on those. My Tabasco peppers are coming in like gangbusters, and it just absolutely makes me crazy because they won't get done. And I'm not gonna bring them in the house. That's not gonna happen. Do you like curry and spice? I don't mind curry. I've had, Indian dishes are sort of I've had them sporadically in my life. There's an Indian restaurant in where my daughter lives that makes, I want to say it's called the Round the World Kitchen in a place called Findlay, Ohio. I'm going to leave everything, but I might want to take some of this stuff out. I'm going to take some of the skin out of this stuff out. I don't really mind the seeds, but I don't want all the cartilage in here. There we go. I should have used a paring knife. Oh well. Okay. But I don't mind the seeds at all. And I'm kind of looking, it's got a little brown spot in there. Cut that piece out. There we go. Ooh, these smell good. There we go. I'm going to chop that down just a little bit, so we can fit those in there. These smell really good. I got sort of lucky. I don't grow jalapeno peppers, but I got kind of lucky with the ones I got. They were really nice. Okay, there's that. Throw those in there. And then we got some onion. I'm gonna throw about 1/4 of an onion in there, maybe more. These onions are really small, the ones I got this time, and they're really like hard to peel. I don't know why that is. Move the trash over there. Okay, this is gonna be good and spicy though. You are cutting out the hot stuff. I'm telling you what, Huey, the peppers that I just put in there, my peppers they may be like what people wouldn't consider the hottest peppers, but the ones homegrown Tabasco peppers are nothing like eating Tabasco sauce. It's like scorpion level. It's probably just a little bit on the Scoville. If I had a way to check them out, they would be somewhere around, they'd have to be just under a scorpion pepper. And my cayenne peppers are like that too. So that's why I didn't overdo. And I'm gonna use for the next batch, because I know I'm gonna end up doing more than one batch of this. But Let's see. I know we're going to throw a clove of garlic in there. Break that. Pete, get a clove of garlic into that. Put it in the grill. There we go. And use the gadgets. Let's see. I'm gonna yes with smoked Gouda and fresh mozzarella. So good. Yeah, that's probably some of my all-time favorite. Gouda is like my favorite go-to. Smoked Gouda is my, like for sandwiches and stuff. Like if I'm just having ham sandwiches or chicken sandwiches or whatever, it's always Gouda for the most part. I don't mind some Colby Jack, and I've been buying Monterey for whatever reason here recently. Monterey Jack. This might be a little too big for this thing, but we'll see. There we go. Strip those down, and maybe we'll do another cilantro in there. I feel like I'm forgetting something though, and I'm gonna do a squeeze. I've got some lemon, so we're gonna throw some lemon in there instead of lime. And I'm not going to overdo it, but I could have swore I had 2 limes. I always have limes. You know what I like sharp? You know, Rick, what I like sharp cheddar on? Is a slice of apple pie. I love American cheese and cheddar cheese on a slice of apple pie. It's like a New York thing. I had a friend of mine that was from Long Island, and he got me to try that, and it's really super good. Really, really good. So let me see here. Bring this up. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. I tried some salt in there. Oh, cumin. I forgot. I almost walked out of the room and forgot the cumin. I'm gonna put about a teaspoon of that into there. There we go. About a teaspoon of that. And I'm gonna sprinkle a little bit of adobo powder into there. Not much, just to kind of give it that little bit, because you can definitely overdo adobo. And we'll see how this comes out. Pulse this up. About to ask you guys if you could hear the Halloween music in the back, but I guess this is really, yeah, Tabasco. I mean, and these, why, you know, like anything else, when you do it wild, it's definitely it's always going to be a lot hotter than normal. Especially like we've had a really dry summer where I've had to water, and then I only water my peppers like four times a week. Because I noticed with my peppers, the less I water them, the better off I do with them. I don't know if anybody else has that same thing. I hear old time, yeah, it's Halloween music, like 30s and 40s, Halloween tunes. There we go. Closest is to Cayenne. It's about 3. Oh, okay. All right. See how this goes. I'm gonna get a pan or I'm gonna taste it, and we'll see how we're working. Because like I said, there's a lot of stuff I don't go light on, but I tend to go light on salt, and that can kind of screw me up at times. Taste it up. Oh man, that's good. Really spicy. I could have about half peppered those, but man, yeah. I mean, it's not much hotter than, say, regular hot salsa, but that's good. Okay, so we'll go from there. Let's get that out of there, and we're gonna strain that off. Radagas, what's going on, buddy? Good to see you. Good to see you. Yeah, we're just hanging out, and I was talking about Sunday's Live. It's going to start early, and it's going to go. I'm going to be charging up my batteries. I'm going to be on for a while until we get those pumpkins on there. Until we get some pumpkins done. Because it's what? What's the date today? The 12th? Something like that? I know it's Columbus Day. I know we got Columbus Day today, which was not cool because I had a lot of stuff that needed to be sent out and I wanted to go to the post office. What's up, buddy? Just stumbled in. Me too. I'll probably be stumbling here in just a little bit. We'll stumble together. Yeah, please hit the like button, and the people that are out there in the stratosphere that have not already subscribed, please do. We're getting close, man. We're getting close to that 1,000. That's really good right off the rip. I should have wrote that down. That's super good. I could go a little less hot, but I'm going to go less hot on the next round. We're going to let that sit. But it's got a nice consistency. I think once we break that down, once we let that kind of drain down just a little bit, kind of stir that around. I won't use this. I won't use the spoon that I just tasted. We'll leave the taster spoon for the side there. We'll mix that around a little bit and get some of that off there. Makes me want some bean dip and chips. I do have some of those corn tortillas still in the refrigerator. I might fry those up tomorrow and make Doritos out of them. You guys ever done that? You ever take the corn chips and made fry them up and made like Doritos or tortilla chips with them? I've never done it, but I did look at that. I looked at that this morning because I saw those sitting in there. I'm like, maybe I'll do that and see how many I get out of that. Plus, I like tortilla chips really big. Yeah, I think that looks pretty decent. Can you guys see that okay? Yeah, that looks pretty good. I'll take that. So I'm going to put this into a freezer container. Hopefully that I didn't get too big of a container. And we'll move that over into there. And we're going to keep... Oh, I got some more in the... That's more than blender. Yeah, it's really tasty. I'm going to do that same thing again. But I don't have any more fresh Tabasco and cayenne peppers, but I've got dehydrated, as I always have dehydrated everything. Yeah, that looks really good. I'd serve that. I'd serve that to somebody. Serve that to somebody that didn't know any better. There we go. Need a little swig of something to take the bite off that. Tasty blender. Yeah, in a sense. I mean, I've made pico de gallo, and I have a little pico de gallo recipe. And I don't think that I'm gonna miss. I don't think I'm gonna try and put the lemon in it like I planned, because I kind of like this just like this. But like I said, I've got a pico de gallo recipe. I've got a regular salsa recipe that I just didn't bother to get out of the thing. But I just wanted to I just really kind of just threw this together. So yeah, 100% Carlos. Put sea salt on the pitas when they crisp. Like, yeah, once they come out, yeah, 100%. And I was even thinking, I've got sea salt, I can just like do that a little bit. You know what I like using sometimes too? And maybe it's just because I'm a really big fan of margaritas, but I like margarita salt on stuff. Sometimes I always keep a little thing in the bar section of the cupboards, and I always keep a thing of margarita salt because there's nothing wrong. I think margaritas sound really good. I might do margaritas at some point this week. Maybe even the Sunday. Maybe I should just go all in and just do margaritas for the Sunday show and call it a day. Val's Black Cats rule. YouTube doesn't like me. They don't like a lot of people, I guess, to be really honest. Let's see if we get a good look. Get you guys down there a little bit better on there. So, sitting back in the cheap seats. But yeah, I'm down with this. And I think that I can do another batch of this and do that again. All right, cool. That's super cool. I'll take that. But here, yeah, if you guys want to get a good look of it, I think that came out really good. Yeah, I dip some chips in this. Maybe not drain it. I might not drain it off so good the next time. But once I let this sit, it's gonna get some juice. But I like the look of it. I like the consistency of that. And actually, the salsa that I get at the Mexican restaurant that I love to go to, theirs is actually a lot runnier than that. Huey, pumpkin margaritas. Man, you never know. Like and share. What the devil? Let's see, that would be cool. Yeah, you never know, man. I don't know if it, with that, the one thing that I don't mess around with too much, there's a few liquors that I don't like, and I absolutely will turn my nose up in, and there's not many, by the way, to be completely transparent. One is martinis. I do not like martinis. And I really don't like how they make me feel the next day. You can literally have a martini hangover for 3-4 days. Those can be wicked. And let me see. The other thing, ouzo. I don't like ouzo. If you've ever had that, it's like a Greek liqueur that tastes like black licorice. Not a fan at all. Trying to think. And the other one that I'd take a beating on, coming from the Midwest, is I do not like moonshine, even in the slightest. I don't like flavored moonshine. I don't like anything moonshiny. Cosmopolitan. I do like cosmopolitans. I've had a cosmopolitan. They're pretty delicious. I don't make them at home. But at home, I'm kind of standard. I kind of stick with the painkillers, pina coladas, margaritas, real margaritas, not that weird mixed stuff. And pina coladas, painkillers, tiki drinks. Trying to think what else that I make. Bloody Marys. I do like Bloody Marys occasionally. And trying to think what else I really like as far as like drinks go. And I've always been sort of a gin lemon 7 guy, which is just gin, 7-Up or Sprite, and with a lemon in it, which is pretty easy. I like those a lot. Let's see, let me get this other older container of tomatoes that I've already washed these. And we'll see how these are doing. But these were probably Friday's pick. I think I picked these Friday, and I just picked them right off, rinsed them, and threw them in there. My idea was I was going to freeze these, and I never got around to it. Never got around to freezing them, so that's my bad. So that's why they're going to be salsa, and then froze. After I take out of these for the next couple days what I want, if I don't end up with as much as I think I am. Because I'm not planning anything out. I mean, with tomatoes, especially cherry tomatoes, it's hard to plan. That's why you do a lot of like Italian, like the weekday sauce recipes and stuff like that. Some days you get a ton of tomatoes. Some days you don't get hardly any. And I just happen to have a ton. But I'm thinking, I've got a pork roast going to my left, and I've got sauerkraut to my left, my absolute left. So there could be some Italian pork being made at some point. That one's kind of weird. But I might just have enough to fill up. I don't know what size container these. I don't usually use these little plastic containers, but I got these to put in the freezer. I don't know what they say. I don't know how big they are. So we'll just see what's up. But yeah, if you have any good salsa recipes, please send them to my email in the bio. That would be fantastic. you have anything good like that, or pumpkin recipes. If you have pumpkin recipes that you think we could be done fairly quickly and with minimal damage to the kitchen on Sunday, bring them, because we're going to be roasting. You know, I'm going to be making my own puree, like straight from the pumpkin. So we'll be putting those in the oven and roasting those down, which I've done once. I want to see if I can make a pumpkin roll, but pumpkin rolls takes a long time. And I do, yeah, I hope Fuzz is watching. That'd be fun. Miss Fuzz. And I know he misses, I'm sure he misses everybody. So we've got these. I think I went a little over a pound, like 1.5 pounds last time. And I've got another container here. Another container here. But yeah, I've got about 8 of those small corn tortillas left. But I've got about that many tomatoes over here as well. And those, like I said, we were going to freeze those, but I just never got that far with it. So, and these have already been washed as well. These are all split. We had that rain. I had a lot of rain a week and a half ago, and it went for like almost the whole week. So I have a lot of split tomatoes because they just took on so much water, and I don't do much picking in the rain if I can help it. So these are split, but they're still good. Let's see, get about 1.5 pounds. See if I got some of it. I got a lot of these that I try to take the stem off when I'm picking them, but that doesn't always happen. Because the later in the year, at least for me where I'm at, I notice that they're harder to pull off of the vines when they're in the later the season goes. In the hot weather, they just practically fall off. But once it starts getting these cool nights, threw away the wrong thing. There we go. I don't want that one either. They tend to be harder to pick off the stem or the vine. There we go. Well, I want to get about 1.5 pounds. I think that's what I had last time. Everything else, I hit it pretty on the nail on the head with the cumin and a little bit of adobo, and that adds a little salt, and then that little bit of what do you call it? The sea salt that's sitting behind me. Drink break. Check the comment section. Pumpkin cookies. Bragg asked. Me too. Worried about pneumonia. Pumpkin bars. That might be something. Gee, Val, hope. Yeah, Val, I hope are you feeling better, or are you still about the same? I kind of missed some of the pumpkin spice honey fruit leather. I've never heard of that. Is that like a fruit roll-up kind of deal? Okay, I've had a few drinks, a couple sips, I was getting a little parched. Well, we'll get this up to just about, and salsa's nice. I like doing salsa because even if your tomatoes don't look that great, you can throw them in here. That's what I like about the weekday sauce as well. You can throw them in salsa and nobody knows the difference. It's kind of like making jam with bruised and overripe strawberries. Nobody knows the difference. There we go. These definitely needed use today. I thought about doing this in the morning, but that did not happen. So yeah, we'll do 1.5 pounds. I think that's about where we were at last time. About 1.5 pounds. And if I fill that container up, I'll just get down a mason jar. And I've got another container as well. But I'll set myself some aside in a mason jar that I'm not going to throw in the freezer. Almost there, about 1 or 2 more. Find one. Gosh, I thought I stemmed these a lot better than I did. Okay, so there's 1.5 pounds. cool ideas, Hans. Yeah, the roll up. Yeah, okay. Pumpkin ice cream with ginger snaps. That sounds like some work, but it sounds good. I like pumpkin ice cream. There's a few places around here, ice cream places that do pumpkin ice cream, and I do not mind that. Let's see. Maybe even a pumpkin pie. This pumpkin pie, that uses up a lot of pumpkin. Just to make a little pumpkin pie. I should call it after I've gotten my water bill this summer, I should call it the $500 pumpkin pie videos. There we go. Put these in there. And we won't forget the salt either. I'm gonna turn this sauerkraut off. Even though that's what I'm gonna eat at some point later on. I think that's about as many tomatoes as we had before. So £1.5. We're going with that. We'll go with £1.5. Because we didn't add a whole heck of a lot. I wonder how much onion we used. I think we used a half an onion. And some pumpkin butter. Oh, pumpkin butter. That does sound good. Make your own pumpkin pie filling and bake without the shell. I've never had a pumpkin pie without the shell. That does sound really good though. Let's see. I think we must have used a half an onion because I don't see the rest of that onion laying around here anywhere. And a jalapeno, so I'll go ahead and put the jalapeno in. Put the jalapeno pepper in there. And cut that up. Can we see that? You guys see that okay? Not down in the comment section. There we go. Put that off to the side. There we go. There we go. Get that stuff out. To Huey's dismay. And this one was a little smaller, so. But I don't need all the seeds and all that. I got enough seeds from the other stuff in there. There we go. Chop that down just a little bit. There we go. 1 clove of garlic. And my little garlic peeler. There we go. There we are. Papery stuff out. There we go. There. Let's not forget the salt either. Look at that knife. What's wrong with my knife? A little bit of salt in there. I have no idea what's wrong with this my knife. My knife's real sharp. Let me see here. Oh, there's this deal. If I forget anything, let me know. This one might be a little too thick to do it that way through there. There we go. 1 cilantro. But I would like to get another knife. I've been looking at it, especially since I chipped this one. I chipped that blade, and I really sat and worked on it the other day, and it did okay, but I can still see that one chip. It's chipped pretty good. It's hard to see. I know I showed you guys the other day, but right there is a big chip, and it makes cutting fatty stuff like really, really, really difficult. Like chicken thigh fat, it's a real pain. It's a real pain. Let's see. Oh, and the oregano. There's my oregano. Put the oregano up in here. Strip that off. Oregano in there. But I don't put any other Italian herbs into mine. into the salsa because it doesn't pan out for me that well. I'm trying to think. Oh, and I've got some dehydrated peppers here, and these work really well too. These are my cayennes from last season. I think we threw 2 in there. I'll throw 1 in this time. And generally I have a jalapeno or 2 hanging out in there generally, and there is one. Because I just throw them in, and we'll do 1 jalapeno, or not jalapeno, Tabasco. So we got these 2 from last year, which is why I didn't dehydrate. I don't know if I'm going to dehydrate any this year. That's why I just make sauce a bunch. I think I'm just going to, the last batch that I get, I'm just going to make sauce. So there we go. Oh, and the onion. There we go. And right there. Okay, and then we're going to do half of an onion. There we go. Hey to the hubby. Oh yeah. Chips are killers. Yeah. It's not ideal. Do those divots keep the food from sticking to the blade? As in, I'm not sure what you mean. The divots. Oh, on the knife? I guess. I'm not really sure. The one I looked at one. I can't tell you. I honestly can't tell you the name of it right off the top of my head. But I looked at it just because it had a Grateful Dead. It's got a Grateful Dead steal your face on it. It was the real reason I wanted it. But I looked up the company, and the company was pretty decent. They're just actually doing stamping, like logos on knives, and I could get a Grateful Dead steal your face off of that. So I thought that was kind of cool. And then I looked at a German knife as well, a 7-inch blade German knife. I can't remember the names of I can't really remember the names of them all, to be super honest. And I don't want to forget the vinegar either. Because that first round was pretty killer. I'm actually pretty impressed with that. Like I would buy that salsa, to be really, really honest. If they brought that to me in a Mexican restaurant, I would not be disappointed by any stretch of the imagination. Okay, so we'll bring this up to the front so you guys can get a good blast of that. Tasting history on YouTube, Max Miller. For pinyon pie, early pumpkin pie. I haven't seen it. I do watch a little bit of Max Miller once in a while. About a teaspoon or a tablespoon. And a little bit more. I don't mind Max Miller. He does some good stuff. I saw this latest video where he was doing pemmican. And pemmican, to me, kind of looks good. Let me see, I gotta stretch this up just a little bit more. There we go. Put that up there. So we'll go a little bit of the adobo. Just a sprinkling of the adobo is what we did last time. And about a teaspoon or so of cumin. I need a little more than that. This humidity is really, there we go. This humidity has really gotten to my herbs and my spices. I don't know if anybody else has or not, but I think that was everything. There we go. That might be a little bit more tomato than I had last time, but that's all right. And I was hoping White Mountain Girl would show up because White Mountain Girl and I have like almost the identical kitchen, and she has the exact same blender and the exact same color as I do. Let me see how those onions did. Yeah, I think that's pretty good right there. I'll take it. Maybe one. Just to say I did it. There we go. Okay. Move this back off to the side again. There we go. Thanks, I haven't watched Max Miller in a while. I've been collecting Hinkle knives, love them. Yeah, my bread knife is a Hinkle knife. I don't know if you guys have ever seen me cut bread with my bread knife. Because the one that came in this set is basically, the one that came, I've got 2 bread knives, and I'm telling you what, they're deadly. They've cut everybody at least once. Because they're so unbelievably sharp. And so awkward that I never use them. That's why I bought that Hinkle bread knife. That's really good. Mix that around. And this isn't the one I tasted with last time. By the way. There we go. Let that kind of... But I got about the same consistency, which I'm pretty cool with that. But man, that is tasty. I can taste on my finger when I ran it across the edge of the blender. But yeah, White Mountain Girl and I, when we share pictures of what we made, different things, we get amazed. Even her garden beds are like almost exactly like my garden. They're the same garden beds. Probably the same brand or model, one or the other. That sit and drain just for a second. Hard tack. Clack, clack. No, if you're talking about the Beagle, no. The Beagle's not in here. She's probably not in here because I'm washing, I got her, her umpteen hundred food bowls in the dishwasher. Because she has them. I don't know. I change her food bowls out every day, and they've finally accumulated enough to run the dishwasher of everything. So without her food bowl out here, she probably finds no reason to be out here. But it is, I will tell you guys something funny. My neighbor put out like black cat silhouettes for Halloween all through her yard, and then the other neighbors across the street put out like those ghosts and witches things that hang from the trees as their Halloween decorations, and the Beagle is convinced that all these are real. So she's been barking at the neighbors' ghosts and witches that are hanging in the trees, and I had to take her out earlier to show her that the black cat silhouettes in the yard aren't real, because she was like all last night, I was trying to figure out what she was barking at. And this morning when the sun came up, I saw that she had put all of her Halloween decorations out yesterday. And that's what that dog's been after. She's been looking at me like, I just want 5 minutes. That's all I need. I recently started, man, handsome son, you're crying this morning. What's the meaning of this? I have a Hinkle half chef. It cuts good. William, they are CI handed down items. Oh, okay. What's the meaning? I don't know, Ronald. I missed some stuff. I had my back turned while I was lovingly working my salsa, draining the juice. That's probably some Bloody Mary juice right there. maybe not. Turn my pork roast off. I want to overdo. Okay. Toss this into that bowl. Yeah, unless that beagle snuck in behind me somewhere. Cricket, where's the hook? Where's the hook? I don't know. Let's see, hog. That was Ronald's entrance. Oh, okay. Yeah, hey Cricket, but good to see you though. It's soup starter. I never thought about that. Soup starter. Like I was saying, when I made the hot sauce a couple weeks ago, I used that pulp from the hot sauce and I added it to the salt. I added that to my hot sauce, and boy, that was something else. That was fire sauce. Unfortunately, I'm out of that. But if I get enough cayenne peppers left from the last round, hopefully they'll turn, because they're full size. They're just green, and I'm hoping they turn before the end of the year. What are you making, Florence Montana? I'm making salsa from the garden. Stuff out of my garden today. Thank you, Florence, for showing up. But that's what I'm making. And I think we're going to have to wing it on the last one, because the last one will be about all the tomatoes I have. And like I said, I just came on really to talk about the pumpkin live stream for Sunday, and see if we could kind of put our heads together and help me come up with some recipes. If you have pumpkin recipes that are fairly simple and cast iron friendly, because we will be using a lot of cast iron, if not all exclusively, to make everything. Pumpkin seeds is what I get pretty jazzed about pumpkin seeds. And I know a lot of people, like, they cut the shells off and make pepitas out of them. I don't even do that, man. I just eat them. Butter, salt, roast. A little boil. And I could sit around and eat a pound of pumpkin seeds. And I have several times. Look at all that juice that's left over. That does. It looks like Campbell's tomato soup. I might just actually do that. Save this for something and pour that into a jar and make some like spicy, make some kind of soup out of that. Let's see, there we go. I think I'll give that another second to kind of run off. It's getting pretty full. But we don't have a whole heck of a lot left. Well, I'm stoked about Halloween. I'm really stoked about Halloween. I'm starting to get into the Halloween spirit. I got a lot of my, I got everything out except for my cauldron, my smoking cauldron decoration out, but everything else is up. My lights are up, and my pumpkins aren't carved. Scotty Florence Cricket. Yeah, we got some folks rolling in. Scotty from H-Town, what's up, buddy? Good to see you. Good to see you. All right, so this is what we got so far. So I think that I'm going to add enough to top that off, and then I'll save the rest of the salsa that I have left from that. I think then that's what I'll keep for myself for the week. And everything else I'll just throw in the freezer. Which it's not going to last. I go through a lot of salsa. I eat a lot of, like, if you guys saw the amount of tacos and taco stuff that I eat every week, I'll be breaking into the freezer salsa like pretty quickly. Yeah. Very, very cool. Yeah, if we could have everybody take a second and take that minimal second and hit the like button, that would be fantastic. I bet it doesn't taste like Campbell soup. I'm sure this doesn't. Like I said, it'd be a spicy soup. So let's, I'm not even going to get the scale out. We're just going to put them right into here, and then I'm just going to eyeball it into the tomatoes. I'll just do the tomatoes right into there, because I don't have near a half pound. Probably have about a pound left. But I'm going to put the same amount of stuff into it to make it to kind of chunk it up. But yeah, and I'm trying to decide what I'm giving out for Halloween this year. A lot of times I give out like chips, pretzels, and stuff like that. I was watching a live stream that one of my friends does, and I'm trying to remember what they were giving out. Oh, the one guy's giving out crayons. I don't know. We had those. We went to this section of the town that we lived in, the city that we lived in when my kids were really little, and we lived outside of town there. And we went to the one time we went to the really affluent neighborhood to go trick or treating, and I will never make that mistake again. We went to a guy's. Literally, he was a dentist, because he had. Instead of having like Halloween stuff, he had a big blow up tooth in his front yard. And it said dentist on his placard on right by his door that he was a dentist, and he gave all the kids spray, like the spray, like kind of like the breath spray that they used to, you spray like the mint spray you spray in your mouth, but it was all like assorted different flavors, and he gave out breath like this spray. I was like, man, come on. And it was really like nobody gave out. Everybody had these great decorations everywhere. Like the town, that section of the town looks. It's really like it's a historical part of Ohio. And everybody had their yards decorated to the nines, and nobody was giving out candy. Like these little kids walked for miles, and had like nothing by the time it was over, except that spray. So I was like, come on, man. You know. Spray. Could have been, you could have done like sugar-free maybe, but that spray was pretty lame. I gotta admit it. Let's see, we had a dentist in our hood. Gave us toothbrushes. Yeah, I mean, dude, I could go with a toothbrush. My kids didn't even know what to do with that spray. They were like, what is this? And I'm like, you spray it in your mouth and it tastes good. And they were like, they did it and they were like, this doesn't really even taste good. Like, well, we won't go there again next year. Yeah, I could see the toothbrush. That's kind of a community, good for the community kind of a thing to give away. But I don't know. I just thought that spray was lame. That's just how I roll. Let's see. White Mountain Girl, there she is. I just got a Mammoth Ninja blender for Costco yesterday. Perhaps too big. I don't know, man. The bigger the blender, the bigger the batch of margaritas. I don't know if there's any such thing as a blender that's too big. But I think I'm still gonna go because I kind of use the bigger part of this onion to do that last batch, and this piece isn't that big. So I think I'm just gonna throw this whole onion, this what I have left of this onion in there. There we go. Kind of put this into 6s and then into 8s and just pizza cut that. There we go. Throw that in there. Get our clove of garlic. There we go. They're kind of small. The garlic selection, like just around me anywhere, has been pretty sparse the last 2 times that I went and got garlic. I'd even get the elephant garlic if I could find that. Let's see, Mercy B, what's going on? Yeah, Queen of New England's here. Very cool. Very cool. And if you have not checked out White Mountain Girl's YouTube page, please do. It's always got some fun stuff in there. I go to it quite a bit. She has a lot of her videos about where she works at the bed and breakfast at the manor. That's pretty interesting. She shows off her delicious dishes that she makes, and she blows me away. Blows me away. She's a talented lady. She really, really is. Super talented when in the kitchen. Let's see, so we got one of the cilantro. I want to dig in here. I know I've got more. The oregano from the garden. And that's the thing, this oregano was already like, I don't know why it does that, but man, it bruises up really easy. And I use scissors to cut that. Let's put a little bit more oregano in here because I got this. That piece was pretty small. Where are we at here? Yeah, just reading these right, I guess. You can't, my area, end up being thrown stuff. Oh, I didn't see it. But yeah, I forget what that guy was giving out. We used to have this other guy that I worked with, and this guy, man, it was like everybody gave him the business when he came in. Because the day after Halloween, he would bring in all of his kids Halloween candy and give it away. And he had a lot of kids, man. And he was like, they had last night to eat it. That's it. It's gone. I'm not saving it. I'm like, man, I would be fried, man, if my parents did that. Go out and walk all those miles. And then your parents, you get up the next morning and like all your candy is gone. And you know that all the other kids at school, were like bringing all their candy, all the cool candy they got. And that was like, they were getting in trouble like all day long with it. And your dad's the one that took it out, man. I'd be mad. I would be so mad. Yeah, thanks, Val. Yeah, please do. Please hit the like button. And if you're out there in the stratosphere trying to nail that 1,000 subscribers, which we've been doing like quite a bit. I'm going to watch on my drive home from work. There you go. Attaboy. Oh, civil disobedience. Never. I should say never hurt anybody, but and a little bit. This adobo is like turned into an adobo brick. You can build an adobo house with this. A little sprinkle of that. Put our cumin in there. And this is cheap cumin from, I think, the dollar store. But I'll tell you what, it's really good. And it doesn't have anything in it. It's just pure cumin. So I was pretty surprised. I just got it because it was in a bind. I think I put the salt in. Did I put the salt in already? Do you guys remember? Bye, Reba. Reba, you out of here? All right. Yo. You should not be drinking your own piss. That's great advice. That should get you pretty far in life. Don't drink your own piss. I love dollar store spices. You know what? The thing about dollar store spices, and I don't know why, if people have a problem with them, but the stuff that I do get, you can get stuff that doesn't have anything like the silicon dioxide in them. Most of them are actually pretty good, and they're cheap. We get home with our candy, our dad would grab all the goods candy. The only thing that I ever grabbed out of the kids' candy was they had to pay the Reese's Cup tax. So if they got full-size Reese's Cups and the individuals, I had to at least get one. That was the tax that I put on my kids. I always got to get a Reese's Cup. And I always ate a lot of it anyway. Because the little town that we lived in before I moved down here, we lived in this little town. It had like 500 or 600 people. And they went all out for Halloween. Like, it was cool. Like, the fire department would take kids rides. Like, and they would do it all night if you had that many kids. But they'd give kids rides on the fire trucks. And it was like they had such old fire trucks. It was like the old fire trucks. And the kids would all get up on the top. And they had to have a parent. But you could ride around, and they would take you all around town on the fire truck. And you could go as many times as you wanted. And they would do it until all the kids got to have their turn. Until the kids' line was gone. And then they had like a nice little spread of cider and donuts and the cake, the cinnamon cake donuts and stuff. It was nice. Sandra Ocho, Aldi's are good. They don't sell the items that with the band crab. At least they used to. Oh, okay. We have a couple Aldi's around here, and I've only been into them a couple times. I don't know why. Let's see. Oh, vinegar. And we'll drop a little bit of vinegar. I won't go too as heavy with the vinegar as I did. And then we'll go, there we go. Splish. Do a splash of vinegar. Yeah, a lot of people go there and they like it. The other thing we have here, that I don't know if people have other places, but we have Gordon Food Service Outlet. And it's like restaurant supply stores. And Gordon's, you could go to Gordon's and get all kinds of cool stuff. I never did see, did I put the salt in? I forget. I think I did, but I can't remember. I like Envy apples from Aldi. I've never had those. I'll wait and see if I put the salt in before I hit the blender. Let's see, I'm just reading the comments. Here we go. Most of their products are chemical free. They're a German company, or they used to be. Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff that they're taking out of the food finally. You know, and I was saying this about rice the other day. The rice we get in America, always make sure you get American-made rice, because the rice you're getting from other places, I've watched a gajillion things about this. The rice that you're getting from outside of the country does not come from the good parts of the country. It's not the good stuff. I'm just gonna add a little bit more. Most organic food. A lot of organic too for a good price. Yeah. I think I did put salt in, but I'm just gonna put a little bit more in. I'll just put a smidge, just to be sure. But yeah, I'm very happy that they're finally taking that serious. I've always said, you know, don't eat, if you can't pronounce it, don't eat it. If you can help it. I mean, I say that as, you know, I love Big Macs too, and filet of fish, but. There we go. There we go. There we go. Ready. Ready as we're ever going to get. I'm really happy. Now, if you guys can see that so far, the salsa's it's looking really nice. And it's going to get juicier as it sits overnight. I'm not going to put that directly into the freezer. I'm going to let that sit tonight, and then I'm going to put it in there. So that's how we're going to do it. Let's see, Aldi usually had the best prices for chicken leg quarters. I didn't know that either. Sounds like I'm missing out on this Aldi thing. Aldi and Trader Joe's are two brothers from Germany, and one brother started Aldi and Trader Joe's with the other. I've never been to a Trader Joe's. The one cool thing that we have here, which is the other reason that I got the Beagle is going to start going to dog boarder, is without Ming being here, now that she's going to school and working, I can't go to Jungle Gyms down in Cincinnati like I did. Because Jungle Gyms, you want to talk about a selection of the best food ever, Jungle Gyms is where it's at. They have the best of everything. It's like, I mean the stuff, and you know, I mean the selection, like you can go in there, if you want a Smithy cast iron skillet, you can get it there. If you want a Lodge cast iron skillet, you can get it there. If you want Le Creuset, you can get it there. They don't carry, last time I was there, they didn't carry Field or Stargazer, but everything else, and any kitchen gadget that you could possibly look for. Trader Joe's is so overpriced. Okay. Let's see, not yet, William, I just got home today. Oh, you're home now, Rick? Very cool. And thanks for showing up tonight, Rick. And Rick Stumbaugh and Greg Hart, thank you so much for being here tonight and moderating. I appreciate that. Though we didn't have too many comments that were out of line. Though we did get the advice not to drink our own piss, so that was whatever. I don't know if that counts if we were like stranded at sea or not, but I don't know. We'll leave that one alone. I think that's advice we all could have lived with, that we could live without. Down there. Yeah, that's looking really good. I'm gonna taste this. Let me get my tasting spoon. Let me get my tasting spoon out. Let's see, Trader is overpriced, no rush. Yes, they are, but they cool things that are hard to find. Yeah, like I said, I've never been to a Trader. I don't know if we have Trader Joe's here, anywhere near where I am. And we have, you know, a lot of people make fun of like where I live in the country, but we have cool stuff. We have a lot of cool stuff. And I did wash this back off. There we go. You know what we didn't put in this? The last batch? We didn't put any hot peppers. That's going to have to go back in. I forgot the hot peppers. you're having thick pork chops tomorrow? I got a pork roast going right now. My Ma Badger was here earlier today, and she had pork roast. I mean, she stopped and had some pork roast and sauerkraut. We'll throw that back in there. Even though it is pretty spicy, it's got some spice to it, but that's probably just from the adobo powder. But I am going to throw one cayenne pepper into that, because this is what I'm going to be. I'm going to top that off, and then we're going to put that into put the rest in a little jar, and I'll keep it for this week to snack on. I'll just throw one in there. And honestly, if I wasn't going to throw it, if I wasn't going to eat it for myself, I would just throw it in there. It wouldn't make any difference. But I knew I was forgetting something, as I do with a lot of these. Let's see. I'll put a little bit of that juice back in there too. Help it mix up. This looks just like Campbell's tomato soup. Like identical. There we go. There we go. That should be enough. Just to break up that little pepper. And if there's a nice piece of pepper in there, I'm not going to complain. And I hope you guys won't either. There we go. There we go. Get all that goodness out of here. You could almost leave. I mean, if you were going to serve this at a party or something, or just do it, you wouldn't have to really drain this off. It looks pretty. Like I said, the Mexican restaurant that I frequent makes it just about like this. And that's probably how it comes. Let's see. My bowl's filling up. There we go. Check out the comment section while that drains and I grab another refreshment. We have Trader Joe's 15 miles east of here, and I'm not impressed. We have 4 Aldi stores within 50 miles. We go every other Wednesday. That's a lot of Aldis. But you know, I've noticed that with Aldis. Like, the city near me, they have 2 or 3 Aldis. They have a Meijer, and they have 2 Walmarts as well. But I don't know. I've never, but yeah, at least 2 to 3. And then the little town, then they're in Wapak, which is pretty close to me. They have 1. They have 1. Garage Beer, sponsor me. Gotta have the kick. Yeah, you gotta have the kick. But yeah, we have 1, and it's right across from my local Walmart. And we still have IGAs here. I don't know if you guys have ever had IGAs where you are. But IGA was kind of like the first supermarket before there were supermarkets, and we still have a couple of those. We have those still here. Mostly in little towns. And they are very, very overpriced. There we go. That's going to be a little softer than the other. We'll check out this. See how that's kind of the juices are draining to the bottom? And it's getting more of that, like, classic salsa look. Yeah, it's going to be nice. And this might all fit into there. And we'll take a look at that. I'll move this. Well, I can't really move it out of the way. I should have moved it first. Might have to take a little bit out of there. I don't know. That actually might be just enough. Take a couple spoonfuls out of there. There we go. I'll take a couple spoonfuls out of there. So I won't have as much to snack on as I think. Well, I'll take some out of here. I'm not going to deprive myself of salsa. But yeah, that looks pretty good. I'll take that. And this one over here is mine, so I'm gonna taste it. That's really good, guys. Really, really good. All right. Let's see, Aldi took a bunch as brands fish that are a guilty pleasure in our house. Fish sticks. I haven't had a fish stick in forever. I like them with some cocktail sauce. IGA, Neil Nara. Yeah, Neil, yeah. IGA are popular there too. I wish, when I was a little kid, I had a, like a toy all-metal IGA truck, like semi-truck or whatever, kind of like a Tonka truck. And I bet that thing would be worth a fortune today if I still had that. Yeah, no, thank you so much for showing up. But I think where are we at? It's about 8:45. Yeah, but that's all. Yeah. And I wanted to come back on and tell you guys for sure. This weekend will be the Sunday marathon show, starting super early in the morning and going until I run out of pumpkin, or I just pass out from pumpkin martinis, one or the other. But yeah, I'll give you guys a better look. You guys see that okay? Yeah, that's not bad. I mean, I'll take that. The last one's a little more pulpy than the first round, but if we can do a comparison to that, a little more red, but that's gonna all drain down. It's gonna be really nice. And the flavor's right on. I mean, it's not overpowering. I can't like really taste any one thing in particular that's like, oh man, I wish I would have put this in there, or I didn't put this in there. It's got a nice little bit of garlic. It's salted right. It's the flavor's really good, and I'm really absolutely happy with it. It could have went I could have had the lime. That would have been nice, but I don't miss it, so. Let's see. Need those giant Frito dippers. Yeah, that'd be right. That would come in handy. Some big Frito dippers. Put you guys down a little closer to see it even better. Yeah, the camera's kind of being a little blurry. I wiped the lenses off of all the cameras tonight, so not really sure what that's about. Yeah, giant Fritos. That would be good. I was at the store yesterday, the grocery, and I saw they had Dorito collisions. Say that 5 times fast. And that's one of my guilty pleasures. And they do have the organic ones now. I just saw that, and I didn't grab chips yesterday, but I am going to try that, especially if they have Cool Ranch, because there's not a Dorito flavor that I don't really like, to be super honest. I like all Dorito flavors. And the taco chip, I still like the taco chip. I think the taco chip's probably my favorite of all. Frito scoops, Frito dippers. Yeah. Oh, so you had it right. Frito scoops. Yeah. Yeah, Tostitos makes the scoops too, and I like those. This one lady I worked with, she would have a thing like at the end of the summer every year, and she would take those scoops and she would fill them and bake them. Oh my gosh. Not for long, like 5 minutes, 10 minutes, and fill them. I mean, they were phenomenal. I like cod, but haddock is my favorite. I don't know if I've ever had haddock. I kind of stick with cod, walleye, and perch. I kind of stick with those. I'm not a big catfish person. I've had catfish a couple times. It's all right. I'll eat it sometimes if it's in a pond. If it comes from a pond. But our catfish ain't that great. Look away. We're going to pinch that salsa. Yeah. I wish you were here. I wish that you guys could be here, because you could definitely... There's quite a bit. I don't know what size container this is. I got these to to freeze stuff, because I do have a lot of like anchor hocking, and you can freeze with anchor hocking ones, but I just don't like to get stuff in and out of the freezer, the chest freezer, because I'm not cool. I don't have one of those like stand-up freezers. I have like the really big chest freezer. So I have to dig a lot of times. And I did look at dividers though the other day that I could fit into my freezer so I can divide stuff a little better. Normally I'm just digging. 1 quart. Think that's 1 quart? Yeah, I'd probably agree. It doesn't say on the bottom because I even looked on the bottom and it doesn't say on the lid either. It just says take along. And I'm not big. I don't know much about plastic containers. I don't really mess with them. Like I said, these are just for the freezer. And I keep plastic ones around too, to when I send people away with stuff. So I don't, because all I have is Anchor glass. So I buy these every once in a great while to send people home with stuff. Oh, I'm out of the shot. Sorry, guys. All right, but I think we're gonna get out of here. And but yeah, so hopefully everybody shows up for Sunday. I know a lot of folks go to church on Sunday, which is pretty cool. But you might even actually look for me before you go to church if you have time, and after, because like I said, I don't know how long that's going to go and what time we're going to start, but it's not going to be at 11 a.m. It's going to be whenever I drag my butt out of bed and start cooking stuff. So Frito Pie, BG. Yeah, I don't know where she is. She's not been in here tonight. I don't know what she's doing. I hope I didn't lock her in the garage. Actually, I was in the garage a little earlier, and sometimes she I should check that real quick, just to see. Make sure she's not out there. Because I've done that before. Been out the garage to go grab something to drink, and then I go back and I'm like, where's the dog? And I find out she's been sitting out there in the dark. But yeah, you're welcome. Thanks, William Hurt. Thanks for showing up. Greg Hart, thanks for being a mod tonight. And Rick Stumball for being a mod tonight. And Scotty from H-Town, thanks for showing up. Radagast, good to see you. Let's see, who else we got? Ronald Coward was in here tonight. And Handsome Stone, if he's still listening. And Mercy B. And Carlos Casanova that was in here. It was nice to see. Carlos pops in once in a while. Great to see him. But yeah, I appreciate everybody for stopping by and showing up and hanging out while I did this. Oh, and White Mountain Girl. Yeah, how can I forget my future ex-wife? Maybe that's why she'll be my future. Maybe that's why she'll be my ex-wife. But yeah, so anyway, I'm gonna let you guys go, and we'll see you Thursday night for sure. All right, see you.